The rest of the fixture has just been released and we need to talk about it. So, as you know, the AFL like to do half a fixture at the start of the year and then figure out days and prime time slots and who earns what in the next half of the fixture later on in the year. And we finally had it released. Now, I haven't really looked over any of anyone else's sort of fixture besides ours. I know that there's a couple of teams that have earned primetime slots, which is absolutely cool to see. There is one bit of the fixture, and it's actually the first game that I want to talk about that's a primetime slot, which doesn't make any sense. But I guess we can just jump straight into it now. So, starting off round 16, we knew we were playing the Eagles. We know it was going to be Marvel Stadium because, of course, we had to play the Eagles at Marvel Stadium. But what I was thinking that it was going to be Sunday, 3:20 graveyard shift, right? It's 7:30 on a Saturday night. Now, look, by round 16, the Eagles might have won a couple of games. They're going to come down to Melbourne. They're going to have a head full of steam because the Eagles always sort of test us at Marvel, especially over the last couple of years. You got to remember a couple of years ago, they were 18th and we got done in at Marvel by the Eagles. So I think that's, there's always one or two fixtures when they release these fixtures that you go, why is this like this? Primetime pies, I get it. But primetime pies against the Eagles on a Saturday night seems a little bit weird. But that one is that. And then we go to American Independence Day, July 4, Friday night, Carlton Collingwood, which is Carlton's home game at the MCG. We obviously played them a little bit earlier on in the season. So that's Friday night. That's primetime, 7:20. That's always got to be that. It was either going to be a Friday night, Thursday, or a Saturday night. But I can't really remember the last time we played Carlton on a Saturday night. No, I've never played Thursday, Friday, Saturday during the day, I want to say as well. But anyway, I think that's going to be, obviously you mark that down as one of the fixtures that you sort of look forward to against your arch rivals. We get to play them twice and you want that home and away win. Now, the next one is our first interstate trip since, since we just went to Fremantle last week. This is our next interstate trip. It's against Gold Coast at People First Stadium on the Friday night. So that's 2 Friday nights in a row. That's 3 primetime games in a row. Saturday night, Friday night, and a Friday night. So that's at Friday, July 11, 7:40, Gold Coast. I'm looking forward to that one because I'm going to the Gold Coast. There, I'm going to have a nice little holiday in the Gold Coast. I actually arrive on the Gold Coast at like 4:30. So it'll be 4:30, arrive, get to my hotel, drop my bags, straight to People First Stadium. So that Friday is going to be hectic, but I'm so keen. And I really love People First Stadium. I obviously went earlier on in the year during match simulation, and that was really, really fun. So I'm really excited for that. Our next double up game for the year is going to be Fremantle at the MCG on a Sunday afternoon at 3:20. Now, this is the game where I thought the West Coast game would be a Sunday afternoon, and you'd put the Fremantle game Saturday night. Fremantle by this time should be trying to vie for anywhere between 6th and 8th spot. I would think so. I know they're playing near the middle of the rung at the moment, but I dare say they're going to pick up a little bit more wins, a little bit more steam, and fight for that spot. So I don't know. In the graveyard on a Sunday afternoon is a little bit weird, but it's one of those family friendly time slots, and I love a Sunday afternoon game. And this is not me saying, oh, Collingwood shouldn't play Sunday afternoons. It's me saying, put the West Coast game on a Sunday afternoon as opposed to the Fremantle game. But as you can see here, at the moment, they're 11th. So it is what it is. And then we have another Sunday afternoon game, which is the week after, July 27, and that's Richmond and Collingwood. So that's round 20, right? That's the first time we're playing Richmond in round 20. I don't want to be that guy, but by this time, there's teams would have doubled up on Richmond already, and we're playing him for the first time there, which is just absolutely insane. Anyway, I talked about that earlier on in my first fixture video. So that's another Sunday afternoon game, which I love. That's at the MCG. That's Richmond's game. even though, Pies are going to probably pack that out ourselves. So that'll be great. I'm actually really looking forward to that one. And then we move on to the this will be the last 4 games of the season. So starting Saturday, August 2nd, round 21, Collingwood, Brisbane, MCG, 7:30, another primetime game. And now we're just going to have primetime now coming up. This one, all you have to do is remember last year where, Bo McCreary kicked that goal right at the end. And, we were nearly so close to making finals when we had that little bit of a run. But these fixtures, after that Fremantle game, they're actually really hard games going through. So you've got the Brisbane double up. So this will be the second time we play Brisbane. So that's Saturday night at the MCG. And then we've got a double up of Hawthorn. So that's Thursday. So that's our Thursday game for the second half of the year. So that's another primetime game. And that's a Hawthorn. That's our away game at the MCG. So that is another one where they're competing for a top 4 spot, and it's a double up. And then you get another double up of a finals contender, which is Saturday night at Adelaide Oval. So that's our last interstate game, before finals. And that'll be against the Crows over there, another top 4 vying team. So that one's going to be interesting. I might head over to Adelaide Oval for that because I loved Adelaide Oval. I love going to Adelaide, been these last 2 years for gather round. So that'll be a little bit of fun as well. But those last 3 the last 2 games, we'll talk about the Melbourne game in a second. Brisbane, Hawthorn, Adelaide, that is a very, very hard run in. Thankfully, we only have to sort of travel once in that sort of aspect and that sort of ending to the season, which will be nice. And then we get Melbourne. We knew this. Melbourne at the MCG to end our year, but no dates and times have been announced. They like to do that right at the end when they kind of know, okay, Brisbane and Collingwood are going to play on the Friday night in the first finals. So we'll give, we don't want Collingwood and Melbourne playing on a Sunday, to give them the most sort of rest and stuff like that. So pretty much we have one Marvel game, 5 MCG games. A few of those are away MCG games. And then 2 interstate games, a bunch of primetime because we're the primetime Pies, right? The PTP, primetime Pies. That's what we do. We're the cash cows of the AFL. I can't say anything bad about this fixture. The probably only bit that's a little bit how's it going for me is that we go from the Saturday night against Brisbane, 5-day break into a rampaging Hawks, you would assume by that point. And, not a lot of teams win off the 5-day break. I know we went over to Fremantle to win off that 5-day break. So that gives me a bit of confidence going into this one. But, it's a little bit testy, 5-day break into a Hawthorn game. That's going to be an intense game. But again, I don't mind that at all because I know, we can win off a 5-day break. But in saying that, I don't mind this fixture. I really, really don't mind this fixture and, prime time. There's not really any, graveyard shifts. Again, the only thing I would say is that the Eagles on a Saturday night at 7:30 is a bit weird, and we get Fremantle on a Sunday afternoon. I would have swapped those times around maybe. But I know, and this is the only thing I did see about the other fixtures, is that there are some Friday night games that they've got two double headers on a Friday night. When does that ever happen? I don't remember the last time we've had 2 Friday night games at the same time, and it's probably happened this year. But are the AFL okay? It doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. This is fixture is for the people, and then it's 2 Friday night games, so I can keep flicking through. Saturday night is stupid. There should be enough time slots where we don't need double up games. And now that we've got Thursday nights available as well, there should never be double up games or thereabouts, in my opinion, especially on a Friday night, which is just one team Friday night. Put a showdown on a Friday night by itself, as opposed to putting 2 games on a Friday night. I just think that's really, really stupid. But anyway, that's been the fixture. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you rate it? What do you think about it? Which games are you going to? But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.